Have you ever been with a man and wished you could flip a switch that makes him lose control instantly? That moment where he can't hold back, where you know, without a doubt, you're the reason he's shaking, gasping, and begging for more. Now, here's the truth. Most women think it takes something extreme or complicated to make a man reach that point quickly. They think it's about doing wild moves or being someone you're not. But here's the delicious little secret. Men aren't as complicated as we sometimes make them out to be. In fact, when you know how to tap into the right triggers, you can make him surrender in record time. And no, it's not about tricks or playing games. It's about owning your power as a woman. Imagine this, you're with him, and before you even touch him the right way, he's already struggling to hold himself together. Your glance, your tone, the way you move, it's enough to unravel him. He doesn't stand a chance. And here's the fun part, you get to control that moment. You get to decide whether you let him linger in suspense or whether you push him right over the edge faster than he ever imagined. See, what most women don't realize is that men are incredibly responsive to the smallest things. The right word, the right look, the right rhythm, done with confidence, can make his entire body react. And when you understand how to use these little psychological and physical cues, it feels almost unfair. Because while he's there trying to keep his cool, you already know the outcome. And let's be real, there's something insanely satisfying about watching a man completely undone because of you. That moment when his breathing changes, his eyes close, and you know he's gone. That's not just intimacy, that's power. And it's a power every woman watching this has inside her, whether she's used it yet or not. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to make him release much faster with 5 simple but powerful steps. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to take control of that moment. And trust me, he'll never forget the way you made him feel. Ladies, if you want to know the single most underestimated way to make a man release faster, it's this: don't start with the body, start with the mind. Because if you can get inside his head, his body will follow instantly. That's the art of the psychological tease. Think about it, men are visual creatures, but they're also incredibly suggestible. If you've ever noticed how a simple smile from you can change his entire mood, imagine what happens when you layer in anticipation, suggestion, and a little playful tension. Here's the secret. When you tease a man psychologically, you're not giving him everything at once. You're hinting, you're suggesting, you're planting the idea in his head that something is coming, but not just yet. That anticipation alone makes his body restless, his heartbeat faster, and his control much, much weaker. Let me give you a scenario. Picture yourself leaning in close to him, brushing your lips near his ear, and whispering something only he can hear. Not even a sentence, sometimes just one line. Maybe it's a compliment like, "You have no idea what you do to me." Or maybe it's a playful tease, "I don't think you can handle me right now." The second those words leave your lips, his brain lights up. He's already imagining what's about to happen, and that imagination alone speeds up his reaction. Ladies, here's the truth. Words are weapons. The right whisper at the right time can make a man lose more control than 100 touches. Why? Because you're engaging the most powerful organ in his body, his brain. Once his imagination runs wild, his body can't keep up. And it's not just the words, it's your delivery. Say it slowly. Drop your voice just a little lower than usual. Let your breath tickle his skin. Draw it out so he feels every syllable. When you do this, you're not just speaking, you're creating a ripple of electricity that shoots down his spine. That's what makes him weak in the knees. Another trick, use your eyes. Psychological teasing isn't only verbal. A glance can say more than a sentence ever could. Hold his gaze a little longer than normal, then look away with the faintest smile. That look tells him, "I know something you don't, and you're going to love it." Men crack under that. They can't hold composure when they feel like you're 2 steps ahead of them. Now let me pull you in on something deeper. Psychological teasing works because it shifts the power dynamic. You're showing him that you're not rushing. You're not desperate. You're enjoying every second of watching him fall apart. And men, though they might never admit this, love when a woman takes that kind of control. It makes them feel like they're in the presence of someone unforgettable. Here's a little experiment for you next time you're close with him. Before anything physical starts, lean in and just pause. Don't rush to touch him. Instead, hover. Look at him like he's the only man in the room, and then say something short. playful and suggestive. Notice his reaction. Notice how his breathing shifts before you've even done anything. That's psychological teasing in action. So remember, teasing isn't about denial. It's about delightful delay. It's about making him imagine more than he's experiencing in that moment. And when you finally give him what he's been waiting for, he won't last long. Why? Because you didn't just stimulate his body. You took over his mind first. And trust me, once you learn how to tease him this way, he'll never be able to hide how much you affect him. He'll be undone before you even begin. That, ladies, is the power you hold. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful secrets in intimacy pace. And let me tell you something, if you master this, you'll never have to wonder whether you can make him lose control faster. Because the way you control the speed of what's happening can either build his anticipation to breaking point, or it can send him over the edge in record time. Here's the truth: most people think faster means moving quicker, but it doesn't. In fact, when you want to make a man release sooner, the real trick is slowing everything down first. Think of it like this: if you're racing a car at full speed right away, the adrenaline burns out quickly. But if you build the tension slowly, deliberately, every little second feels longer, hotter, and more unbearable for him. By the time you shift gears, he can't take it anymore. Ladies, pacing is like music. Imagine your favorite song. It doesn't start with the loudest note. It builds. The beat teases you, the rhythm draws you in, and then when the drop finally comes, you can't resist it. That's exactly how you want to think of your pacing with him. So how do you actually do it? Here's a little blueprint. Start deliberately slow, slower than he expects. If he thinks you're going to rush into things, surprise him by taking your time. Maybe it's a kiss that lingers just a little too long before it deepens. Maybe it's your hands brushing lightly instead of grabbing right away. That hesitation, that patience tells him one thing: I'm in control. And that, ladies, is intoxicating for him. Then, once you've got him hooked in your rhythm, change the pace just slightly. This contrast is what makes him weak. Speed up for a moment, then slow right back down. Give him a taste of intensity and then take it away. He'll chase it. His body will beg for more. And because you're in control, he won't even realize how quickly his own restraint is slipping away. Now, here's the fun part. Pacing isn't only physical, it's in your words too. Try speaking slower than usual when you're close to him. Let your sentences stretch, draw out those syllables, make him hang on every word. Then, when you want to spike his energy, add a sudden playful burst, a giggle, a quick tease, or a sudden lean in. That change in tempo hits his nervous system the same way as touch. Ladies, here's something most women don't realize: men are terrible at handling suspense. The moment you stretch time, they lose their grip. If you give them everything at once, they can last longer because their brain has adjusted. But when you're unpredictable with your pace, slow here, fast there, pause, then surprise, they never find their footing. That's what makes them crumble so quickly. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're kissing him. You start soft, light, almost playful, then suddenly, for just a moment, you deepen it, just enough to make him gasp. And then you pull back, smile, and slow it down again. That push and pull creates a tension he can't manage. His body is desperate to keep up, but his mind is spinning, and before he knows it, he's done. The beauty of controlling the pace is that it makes you unforgettable, because while other women might rush, you are the one who turned a moment into an experience. You stretched time, you made him feel like every second with you mattered. That's what lingers in his head long after the moment is over. So remember this. Pace isn't about speed, it's about contrast. It's about knowing when to slow down, when to speed up, and when to pause just long enough to make him go crazy. Master this, and I promise he won't just release faster, he'll crave the way you made him feel forever. Ladies, let me tell you something that might sound obvious, but it's far more powerful than most women realize: touch. The way you touch him can make the difference between a slow burn and an instant surrender. And the truth is, most women underestimate how deeply men respond to the right kind of touch. See, here's the thing. Men are wired to crave physical connection. Not just any touch gets them undone. It's the mix of surprise, contrast, and intention that drives him crazy. And if you want to make him release faster, your touch has to go beyond habit. It needs to feel deliberate. Let's break this down. Touch isn't about rushing to the most obvious places. It's about the journey. When you start with unexpected spots like the back of his neck, the inside of his wrist, or just tracing your fingers along his arm, you're waking up his nervous system. These lighter, unexpected touches send little shockwaves through his body. His mind thinks, where is she going next? And that suspense alone gets him closer to the edge. Now here's where it gets fun contrast, mixed gentle with firm. Think of it like waves, sometimes soft and teasing, sometimes more intense. For example, you could start by lightly brushing your nails down his chest, then follow it with a firmer squeeze on his shoulders. That switch keeps his senses guessing, and when his body can't predict what's next, it loses control faster. Another secret, touch with purpose. Don't just let your hands wander without thought. Move slowly like you mean it. Place your hand somewhere and linger just a moment longer than expected. That pause makes him hyper aware of your presence, and it magnifies the sensation tenfold. Remember, intention creates intensity. And don't forget, your lips count as touch too. A kiss doesn't have to be on his mouth to drive him wild. Try planning soft kisses on places he doesn't expect. His jawline, his collarbone, even just behind his ear. These spots are loaded with sensitivity, and the surprise of your lips there makes him lose composure fast. Here's the beautiful part, touch isn't just physical, it's emotional. When you touch him with confidence, like you own every move, you're sending a message. You're telling him, I know exactly what I'm doing, and you're going to love it. That assurance is what makes him melt. Because in that moment, he doesn't just feel pleasure, he feels claimed. And that intensity pushes him over the edge quicker than anything else. Think of it this way, every time you touch him, you're communicating. You're saying, I'm here. I'm in control and you can't escape me. That's not just sexy, it's irresistible. Let me give you a little experiment to try. Next time you're close with him, instead of jumping straight into routine, start by exploring slower. Run your hands through his hair, trace his jaw with your fingertips. Let your palms rest on his chest, feeling his heartbeat. Notice how quickly his breathing changes. Notice how fast his body responds when you give attention to areas he didn't even know were sensitive. That's the power of touch done right. And here's the kicker, when you combine this with what we talked about earlier, teasing his mind and controlling the pace, you create a storm he can't survive. His mind is racing, his body is trembling, and your touch becomes the final spark that sets it all off. So remember this, ladies, don't underestimate your hands, your lips, your presence. Touch is more than contact, it's communication, it's control, it's chemistry. Use it with confidence, use it with contrast, and watch how quickly he loses all resistance. And trust me, once you master this, he'll never be able to think of anyone else's touch the same way again. If there's one thing most women underestimate, it's this. Men are unbelievably responsive to sound. I'm not just talking about music or words. I'm talking about the sounds you make, the way you use your voice, your breath. Even silence, if you want to make a man release faster, mastering the sound factor is like discovering a secret code to his desires. Think about it, men are visual, yes, they love what they see, but sound bypasses the brain and goes straight to the body. The right tone, the right rhythm, the right whisper, it flips a switch inside him. Suddenly his control slips. He's not in his head anymore, he's in pure reaction mode. Let me ask you this, have you ever noticed how even a little sigh, a soft moan, or simply the way you breathe near him makes his entire energy shift? That's because sound creates intimacy in a way touch alone can't. It's proof that he's affecting you, and for a man, that's intoxicating. The moment he feels like he's driving you wild, he can't hold back his own release. Now, here's the secret. Your voice is one of the most powerful tools you have. Lower it just slightly, slow your words down, and let your breath brush against his ear as you speak. Say something simple, even just his name, in that sultry tone, and watch his reaction. His body will jolt. His breathing will change. It's like a shot of adrenaline straight to his system. And don't worry, you don't need to be an actress or have some rehearsed script. What matters isn't the words, it's the delivery. Whisper something playful, something teasing, or even something as innocent as you feel so good. That affirmation in your voice in that moment becomes explosive for him. But here's where it gets even better. The absence of sound can be just as powerful. Silence creates suspense. Imagine you're close to him, and instead of filling the space with constant words, you let the silence linger. Maybe you let out nothing but your breath. That quiet pulls him deeper into the moment because his senses heighten when one of them, sound, is stripped away. Suddenly, every little sigh or gasp feels magnified. Let's not forget, laughter and playfulness are part of the sound factor too. A soft giggle at just the right moment reminds him that you're enjoying yourself, and men find that irresistible. It makes them want to give in faster because they feel like they're giving you pleasure. And the truth is, nothing makes a man crumble faster than knowing he's satisfying you. Here's a little exercise for you to try next time. Instead of focusing only on what you're doing, focus on what you're saying or sounding. Start with his name. Then add in a small sigh when he touches you the right way. Build that into a soft moan when things heat up. Don't fake it. Just amplify what you're already feeling. You'll see the way his body reacts. His pace will quicken, his control will slip, and he won't last long. Another trick, sync your sounds with his rhythm. If he's breathing heavy, mirror it. If he's moving faster, let your sounds rise with his intensity. That mirroring creates a feedback loop that pushes him over the edge much faster than if you stayed quiet. And ladies, remember, sound is about vulnerability too. When you allow yourself to be expressive, you're showing him your raw, unfiltered side. That vulnerability is powerful. It tells him, I'm completely in this moment with you. And that is enough to undo any man. So don't underestimate what he hears. Your words, your whispers, your laughter, even your silence. These aren't background details. They're the main event. They're the soundtrack of his desire, and they will dictate how quickly he loses control. Because at the end of the day, touch excites him, sight tempts him, but sound destroys him. And once you master this, you won't just make him release faster, you'll make him addicted to the way you sound when he's with you. If there's one thing that makes all the difference, not just in making him release faster, but in making every intimate experience unforgettable, it's this confidence. Confidence is the ultimate trigger. It's the spark that turns simple touches, whispers, and glances into something explosive. And now let's clear something up. Confidence doesn't mean you have to be the loudest person in the room or that you need to act like someone you're not. Confidence in intimacy is about presence. It's about knowing that you are enough, your body, your energy, your personality, and bringing that into the moment without apology. Why does this matter so much to him? Because men are unbelievably sensitive to your energy. If you go in second guessing yourself, he feels it. If you're nervous about whether you're doing it right, he picks up on that. But when you carry yourself like, I know exactly who I am, and I know he's lucky to be here with me, everything changes. Suddenly, he's not just responding to your body, he's responding to your aura. Confidence makes you magnetic. Think about it when you walk into a room and own your presence, people notice. It's the same in intimacy. If you own the moment, he can't resist you. And here's the kicker: when you believe in yourself that much, he does too. His brain says she's extraordinary, and his body reacts instantly. That belief alone makes it almost impossible for him to last long. Here's a little truth bomb. Men are used to being in control. They're used to being the ones who lead, who dominate the moment. But when a woman flips the script with confidence, when she takes control, when she shows that she's not afraid to be seen, touched, or heard, it short circuits his mind. It's like suddenly he doesn't know how to process it. And in that chaos, in that overwhelm, he releases faster than he ever thought he would. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're with him, and instead of waiting for him to make the first move, you guide his hand where you want it. You look him in the eye and hold his gaze. Maybe you even whisper, "Don't you dare look away." That kind of boldness isn't just sexy, it's unforgettable. His body won't be able to keep up with the intensity you're radiating. But confidence isn't just about bold moves, it's also about comfort. It's about being relaxed in your own skin. Whether you're dressed up in lingerie or wearing nothing at all, confidence means you're not apologizing for yourself. You're not hiding. You're saying, "This is me, and I'm incredible." That self-assurance is the most seductive thing you can bring into the room. Ladies, here's the thing. Confidence amplifies everything else we've talked about. The tease, the pacing, the touch, the sound, all of it becomes 10 times more powerful when it's wrapped in confidence. A teasing whisper without confidence is just words. A slow pace without confidence can feel uncertain. But when you deliver all of these with certainty, with poise, with playfulness that says, "I know what I'm doing," you become unstoppable. And let's not forget, confidence also makes you enjoy the moment more. When you let go of worrying about performance or perfection, you actually allow yourself to feel. You're not in your head, you're in your body. And the more you enjoy yourself, the quicker he unravels. Because here's the ultimate truth: nothing makes a man lose control faster than seeing, hearing, and feeling a woman who is completely, unapologetically in her pleasure. So remember this: confidence isn't something you fake. It's something you step into. Even if you feel nervous, remind yourself he already wants you. He's already chosen to be there. That alone means you're enough. Stand tall in that truth and carry it into every touch, every sound, every look. Because at the end of the day, ladies, you don't need tricks to make him release faster. You don't need to be someone else. All you need is to own your power, your body, your voice, and your presence. That confidence will undo him every single time, and it will make sure he never forgets the way you made him feel. Let's bring this home. You've just learned the secret ingredients to making him unravel in ways he never saw coming. And here's the real truth. It's not about doing 100 different tricks. It's about mastering a few with absolute confidence, leaning into your feminine power, and making him feel like he's the only man in the world in that moment. That's your superpower when you use these techniques. Your timing, your touch, your words, and your playful teasing. You're not just speeding things up for him. You're reminding him that you're irresistible, that you know exactly what buttons to press, and that he's lucky, so lucky to have a woman like you who knows what she's doing. And here's my challenge for you. Don't just take notes. Experiment. Tonight, tomorrow, whenever the moment strikes, pick just one of these points and try it out. Watch the reaction, see how quickly he melts. Then smile, because you'll know you're in control. If you enjoyed this and you want even more tips like these, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and drop me a comment below. Tell me which one of these tips you're going to try first. I want to know, because I guarantee when you do, the results will leave you smiling. So go ahead, gorgeous. Go have some fun tonight. You've earned it.